a chat about me. Pre them a pre them a pre me. Bad mind me now wanna drunk me. Enough of them boy not have no loyalty. Sit down with them friend and a chat about me. Pre them a pre them a pre me. Me not care what them a say. Anything me want do me do it my way. Now them a go talk, no matter what them a watch for my things just to see what me have. But you know me not the type for really boast. We talk the most life for more life and make a toast. When bad mind see the progress, them a go coast. Come a blessings like a river and the water just a flow. Enough of them going too bad mind and me no want that trouble.
When I was 14 years old, we traveled to Jeddah for a few days.
Okay.
On our way back, it was just past midnight, and there were almost no cars around on both sides of the highway. My mom, dad, and I were chatting and laughing at each other. However, we just ran out of topics soon, and I decided to lie down in the back seat. At that moment, I heard a loud bang and passed out for a few seconds. When I got my senses back, I tried to sit up, but the car felt like a roller coaster. So I struggled a little. When I finally sat up, I grabbed the shoulders of both the driver and passenger seats. And then, looking out through my window, I realized that the car was on mid-air floating.
I can't. That's insane. What's going on up here?
When the car dropped, the front bumper dismantled and slid past the right windows of the car. What makes the matter worse, our car did not stop for us. It just started to run at a very high speed, and my dad and I freaked out due to the situation.
That's big, pause.
My mom was insisting him to stop the car as soon as possible. I could see that he was trying, but the car wouldn't stop. Fortunately, we stopped at the fast lane of the highway, and there was a gas station on the other side of the road.
Bruh.
That's just the way God works.
We rushed out of the car and realized that our front left tire burst, and I could see that there was still no cars anywhere. The road was totally empty. My dad was bleeding from his nose injury due to his first hit on the steering wheel when the tire burst. When my mom went back to check to see if he was all right, I suddenly started to have an eerie feeling. At that very moment, I could feel that part of the illumination from the gas station seemed to get dimmer. Lifting my head, I scrutinized in the woods behind the gas station. And then, two dark, gigantic figures were standing there and staring at us. I thought I was hallucinating, but those figures were literally standing there. Although I couldn't see their faces, I could surely see the silhouettes and those piercing eyes. Also, their sizes were absolutely abnormal. I stood there in fear. I couldn't even think of calling out my mom, saying, "Look over there." Then those two figures slowly walked away to the woods and disappeared. After those things walked away into the dark, the brightness of the gas station seemed to be back to normal again. And then, the cars on the road started to pass on both sides of the highway. It was like a moment of nightmare. We finally called the police, and not long after, 3 police cars arrived. At first, the cops didn't seem to believe us when we reported our situation. But anyway, we were taken to the hospital and given treatment. The next day, a detective came to speak with us, saying that this part of the highway was known as a haunted road.
Oh, hell no!
And a lot of bizarre accidents have occurred, literally. The local government tried to investigate what was the reason, but it has never been solved until now. Since that day, my family never went on that highway. And a few years later, that highway was shut down due to the rising number of fatalities.
That is sweetie.
Don't get too close to the bottom of the lip. It's why you're walking up something to walk.